Bushy's death was a simple mugging. What about...
Well, you can leave out robbery in this case, sir. Pablo still had his wallet on him, and it contained almost $300.
Real money?
Pablo never printed greenbacks, sir. Not that he couldn't do it, but he never liked fooling with the feds.
Uh-huh. Well, I admire your speed on the ballistics match, but I can't believe that you got his fingerprints already.
We didn't, sir.
Well, there's ink on his hand. Maybe he was working on something at the time he was killed. If we can find out what that was, maybe we can find out why Mirabushi was killed, and or who killed him.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning, Dave.
Anything for the rumor, sir?
Of course.
You want to tell me about it?
What rumor?
The chain. The human chain. The pollution freaks are going to line up across the Bay Bridge and at 5 o'clock.
Oh, that's news to me.
What are you planning to do about it?
Well, we'll send him some units.
Commissioner.
What is it?
Commissioner.
But if it's a peaceful assembly.
Commissioner, I have to tell you something.
Is that all?
No, there's more.
But you just can't arrest people for demonstration.
Arrest? Are you kidding? A handful of kids against thousands of hot, sweaty commuters? We'll just try to prevent a massacre.
Commissioner, Mrs. McMILLAN is waiting in your office.
Oh, thank you. You know, you really ought to do something about that cold.
I am. I'm sneezing.
You got all that? Hi, Sally.
Stuart.
Mother.
Oh, you're looking wonderful, Stuart, considering your age. And you've grown, too, haven't you? Either that, or I've shrunk.
Oh, Mother, I'm sure you haven't.
You never can tell. I met this adorable plantation owner in Caracas. Bananas, I think it was, or was it coffee beans?
Mother.
Carlos, a dear man, but I towered over him. He was a little in love with me, but I never really could think of him in that way. And then one night, the drums began beating in the jungle, voodoo drums. And the next day, there was Carlos looking down on me.
Mother.
Now, maybe he stuffed paper in his shoes, but if you ask me, those drums were aimed at me.
Mother, forget about the drums. Now, why haven't you called or written?
But I did, last week.
Now?
No. Last week, I was in Marseille. They had that terrible problem with the telephone company. Look at this. Mac, you've done so well. But I intended to write, and that's practically the same thing.
Practically.
Now, don't keep me in suspense any longer. How is the baby?
Oh, he's wonderful.
Boy or girl?
Mother, I just told you.
I can't wait to see him. And his mother, too. Of course.
Yes, of course.
Now, don't be critical. After all, I am your mother, and the least you could do is to pretend to be glad to see me.
But I am.
You and Sally never write.
We never know where you are.
Well, I'm right here.
And that's wonderful.
Well, of course it is, because I'm a wonderful mother. Now, you needn't worry that I'm here to stay. This is a very short visit.
Oh, no. This time we're going to spend some time together.
Oh, Stuart, I have to tell you about your sister.
Megan? What is it?
I don't quite know how to tell you, but Megan is getting married.
Married? But... Well, I mean, she's only a child. Yes.
It's my first reaction, but Stuart, really, she's 27 and well past time. She had a life of her own. Traipsing around the continents with an old woman may be all right when you're 16, but enough is enough. Anyway, Randy is just a darling boy. I know you're going to love him.
Wait a minute now. You mean Megan and this boy are here in town?
Yes, of course. McMillans have been getting married in San Francisco since the days of the gold rush. These two are not going to be any different.
But who is he? I mean, what do we know about him?
Well, they met in the Virgin Islands about 5 months ago. His name is Randy Newmark, and he comes from one of the finest families in Rochester, New York. He's just terribly bright. He's a fine mind for business. I just know he's going to be a millionaire before he's 40.
And I just knew that if there was anybody smart enough to jump at a chance like this, it'd be you folks here at Tamco.
Newmark, Trans-Alaska mining success speaks for itself. Now, just what is it you're proposing?
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Kovacs, like it shows here on the map, you've got about 200,000 acres of abandoned gold mines and silver. You know, sir, with the price of gold and silver going up the way it is, it certainly does pay to go back in there and start digging.
Now, you didn't come in here to explain to me how we run our operations,
No,
did you?
no, sir, I did not. I came here to talk to you about people. Yes, sir, people. The backbone of a company. But, sir, in order to keep them productive, you got to keep them happy. Now, I know you're going to have about 1,000 employees up there by the end of the year. And that's why I figured, well, sir, you just got to have a country club.
Country club?
Yes, sir, with a golf course and a little spa. Now, that's why I bought this little piece of land. It's not very big. It's only about 1,000 acres, but, sir, it's got genuine hot springs on it. And lots of good building sites for homes and...
We're not interested, Newmark.
Now, you just let me finish up here, sir. The fact is, well, I paid a good deal of money for that land, about $300,000. Now, and I owe about another $500,000. Now, that's why I thought that maybe you could put up the rest of the money, just as a sort of loan, you understand? And I could give you, 10% of my operation, once I get it going. Now, I have some plans here that show the layout of the golf course and the
Newmark, save your
building
breath.
sites for the home.
Save your breath. Look, let me explain something to you. We don't need your little 1,000 acres if we were going to put up a recreation center, which we are not.
Yeah.
Secondly, for this kind of money, we would demand at least half interest in your development.
Half?
Half.
Oh. Listen, maybe it'd be better if I spoke to Mr. Ridgely himself.
Mr. Ridgely will not be in until Monday. Anyhow, I am empowered to make this sort of decision.
Well,
Let me explain something to you. And let me give you a little word of advice. Never dive in the deep end of a pool unless you can swim. Now, you're in over your head. Cut your losses. Get out while you can.
a written proposal. Now, I could
Don't
have
waste your time.
I see. Well, Mr. Kovacs, it certainly was nice to meet you, and if you should change your mind, I've left my phone number with your secretary.
Fine.
Have a nice day now.
Thank you very much.
It's okay, kid. The place is clean. How'd it go?
Terrific. Thinks I'm a Class A jerk. Tossed me out of my ear.
So, now we stick to the cheese and the tramp, and if Alan Kovacs is the rat I think he is, he's about to bite off more than he can chew.
Maybe so, Harry. If he goes for it before Bert and Ridgely gets back on Monday. Remember, Kovacs is stupid. Ridgely isn't.
Oh, don't worry, Jack. I've been plucking pigeons like Kovacs for 30 years. You get a feeling about guys like that. He's ripe like a soft brown banana waiting to be peeled.
When's the unpeeling, Harry?
First thing tomorrow morning.
Have faith, kid. Harry's good. Real good. You're not so bad yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you miss me?
For 20 minutes, don't flatter yourself.
A little something to jog your memory. It's nice.
I don't think my memory needs any jogging. How'd it go?
Oh, I don't know, Megan. I don't think it's such a good deal.
Really? Everybody's making so much money with them. Didn't you say that Howard Wilkins doubled his investment in 90 days?
Sweetheart, believe me, I think we're going to be much better off with the condominium in Hawaii. It's a lot safer.
Safe? If the Wright brothers played it safe, we'd be rowing to Hawaii.
Would you like to drive, woman?
Yes, sir. We're gonna be 15 minutes late already.
Mustn't be late for the in-laws.
You're really gonna like my brother.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're a lot alike, you two. Anyway, he's probably not even at the restaurant yet. He's probably down at City Hall talking with the mayor.
Mayor, what is he, a politician?
Didn't I tell you? Max, the police commissioner.
What about the ink on his fingers?
Well, sir, it looks like Lieutenant Callahan was right. Whatever Pablo, what's-his-name, was printing, it wasn't U.S. currency.
But he was working on something.
Well, sir, about 6 weeks ago, he took a basement office on Calaveras Avenue, and he paid for it in advance in cash. Then he moved in this printing press. But there's nothing there now, sir. The place has been cleaned out.
Where's he staying?
We're checking that out now, sir.
Okay, keep at it.
Sally, where have you two been? I've been trying to track you down all afternoon.
Oh, dancing at the Escudero, lunch at the top of Mad Impetuous Day.
We've been shopping.
Commissioner, could you take one of these? My good knee is going.
You know, why didn't you tell me you were going to be home? I never would have hired that babysitter. Do you know what they're charging
The
these days?
babysitter is gone. We have company.
Wonderful. Who?
Family company.
My mother's in Houston with Uncle George.
My family.
Your family?
My family.
Sally. Sally, dear.
Mother McMillan. Oh, gosh.
This is a surprise, dear?
It certainly is, dear.
Oh, you sweet, precious thing. Let me look at you. Oh, heavens, I'm so jealous. You look so young. And just having had that superb little fellow up there, you must tell me what you use. And I suppose this is Muriel.
Mildred, mother.
Oh, Mildred, of course. I've heard so much about you. Tell me, does Stuart still leave his shorts under the bed?
I wouldn't know, Mrs. McMillan. I try to go under the bed as little as possible.
Mildred, why don't you beat it?
Aha, my very thought, Commissioner.
Well, here we are. How long has it been since you two have seen each other?
Oh, must be 6 years.
2 months and 14 days.
Now, isn't that precious? I wasn't sure you'd remember.
Well, that was the day that Mac and I got married.
Oh, has it really been that long? Well, Sally, I know you'll be so happy to know there's going to be another wedding in the family.
Mother McMillan.
Please, Sally, darling, just Beatrice. You make me feel like Grandma Moses.
Well, you've been alone too long, Beatrice.
Oh, heavens, no, not me. No, indeed. No, 23 years with Stuart's father was marriage enough for anyone. No, I mean Megan.
Meg, did you hear that, Mac? That's fabulous.
Yes, I heard that.
If I'm going to make another meatloaf, I have to go get some more hamburger.
Hold it, Mildred. Forget the meatloaf. I made a reservation at the Lobster Trap, and we're late already.
Stuart, you really should have insisted that Sally and Muriel join us.
Mother, I did, but Sally was exhausted, and Mildred made a date with her sister.
Well, only because you wouldn't let her visit her sister for the rest of the week.
Mother, believe me, when Muriel volunteers to visit her sister, it's generally out of desperation, not devotion.
Oh, I couldn't. Not on top of the bourbon.
Burgundy, Mother.
Burgundy?
All right, you two lovebirds. I think now is the spot where I say a few badly chosen words.
Wonderful. A toast.
Don't make a fool of yourself, Mac.
A little respect, please. Meg, Randy, here's to your troubles. May they all be small ones. Here's to your heartaches. May they all pass by as quickly as they came. And most of all, may you have as much happiness as I've had with Sally the last 6 years.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Well, dear, I think it's time we retreated to the powder room. Don't worry. Your brother doesn't get vicious until the stroke of 12.
Don't count on it. Well, now, sir,
I'm sorry.
You go ahead. No. You go ahead.
No,
I
you,
insist.
please.
No, I insist.
Well, sir.
Mac. People call me Mac, whether they know me or not.
Mac. I guess this comes as something of a shock to you. I mean, you really don't know very much about me at all.
That's true.
But there's one thing I want you to understand. I love Megan. Very, very much.
I can see that.
Now, as far as my prospects are concerned, I have an investment in a condominium in Hawaii, which I hope will be a profitable one and perhaps will lead to other things. If not, I have a good background. I was born in Rochester and I attended Choate Prep School.
Choate? When was that?
13 years ago.
Well, then you must know Charlie Clark.
Clark?
Yeah, football. Halfback. He's about your age. His father's one of our chief inspectors.
Charlie Clark? Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody knew of him. Wouldn't have had much of a team without him. I doubt that he'd remember me, however. Oh, here, let me have it.
No, I'll take it.
Come on.
No,
now.
this one's... Saturday, you start paying the bills. This one's on me.
Listen, don't worry about Megan. We're gonna be just fine.
I know you will.
Mac, how should we do the monogram on the silver? Should we do R with a big N and a little M, or should we just do RN plain?
Oh, just give him money.
That's too impersonal.
Well, then give him a personal check.
Mac, we've got to give him something special now.
Charlie Clark.
Who's Charlie Clark?
He never went to Choate.
Neither did I.
Neither did Randy.
What?
Tonight at the restaurant, Randy told me he went to Choate and that he knew Charlie Clark. You know Ed Clark's son?
Uh-huh.
Well, I knew something was wrong, and it just now hit me. Charlie Clark never went to Choate. He went to Harkness.
So?
So he lied to me.
In 3 days, your sister is going to marry a very charming young man, and already you're acting like a cop.
I am not.
You are, too.
I'm not either.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You deliberately trapped him into a fib.
I did not.
You did. Besides, do you know how many Charlie Clarks there are in the world? Why would he lie anyway?
I don't know.
He can't be a fortune hunter. Your mom and Meg don't exactly have a lot of money.
Okay. Let's change the subject.
Okay. Do you remember our wedding night?
Uh-huh.
Do you think I'm as beautiful as I was then? Now, don't lie.
You're even more beautiful.
You sure don't act like it.
Remember now, Mama and Meg are in the next room.
They're probably asleep by now.
Do you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Stuart?
Yes, Mother?
Stuart, is there something wrong in there?
No, everything's just fine.
Oh, that's nice. Don't fight. Night, Stuart.
Good night, Mother.
Say goodnight, Mac.
Good night. Hi, y'all.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't believe that I've ever seen you before.
Oh, Maggie's home with a cold. I'm Kathy.
Sergeant Enright. Charlie's okay.
Is he? That's nice.
What's nice?
That Charlie's okay. Who's Charlie?
No, I meant that you can call me Charlie.
Oh, then that must be your name.
Right.
I love the name Charlie.
You do?
It's my husband's name, too.
Uh-huh.
Now, what can I do for you, Sergeant?
Is he here?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's in the office, but I'm not sure he's here.
Yes?
Sergeant Enright to see you, sir.
Send him in.
Go right ahead.
Thanks.
Good morning. Bad morning. Do you know what it's like to try to read the newspaper in the kitchen among 4 jabbering women?
No, sir, not really. Anyway, it won't last forever.
Put that in writing and I'll hold you to it. What have you got?
Well, sir, we finally managed to trace Pablo Javier to the Crestmont Hotel.
Javier.
Beg pardon, sir?
Javier, not Javier. The J is silent. You pronounce it like a ha. Javier.
I can't say that, sir. Anyway, he's been a guest at this hotel and registered there for 2 weeks. There wasn't too much to find. Except these.
What is it?
This, sir, is rag parchment. Looks like he was trying various inks. Now, the lab boys say that this isn't used for currency, but for certificates, stocks, bonds, that sort of thing.
You mean he was counterfeiting stocks and bonds?
Well, we don't know that for sure, sir.
Any tie-in with the death of that Japanese
Mirabushi, sir. Nothing that we can find, sir.
Well, keep trying. If you find anything out, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Sergeant.
Yes, sir?
I want you to check out somebody else for me.
Oh, right away, sir.
His name is Randall Newmark III. Born in Rochester, New York, 1945. I'm not sure the exact date.
Newmark? Isn't that the guy your sister's gonna marry?
That's precisely why I want him checked out.
Any particular reason?
Yes. I mean, no. I don't know. Just do it.
Yes, sir.
And not a word about this to Mrs. McMILLAN.
Which one, sir?
Either one.
You can count on me.
Okay.
Frank Teasdale, geological engineer. What can I do for you, Mr. Teasdale?
Well, you can start by making this check good.
$10,000? Is this some kind of a joke? It's not even our check.
Well, it better be. The young fella gave me said it was being backed by Tampico.
Randall Newmark III. Wait a minute. Is he about 30 years old, dark hair, pleasant, kind of eager?
Yeah, that's the fella. Now, where do I find him?
Don't ask me. I threw him out of this office yesterday. Him and his crazy golf course.
Golf course? What golf course?
I don't know. He explained something to me about buying some land adjacent to our holdings, and he was going to put a country club up on it or something.
Golf course. That's what he told you? Now, that's funny.
What's funny?
Oh, nothing. You know, these crazy kids trying to make it big overnight. Well, thank you, Kovacs. Sorry I troubled you.
Teasdale. Why would he give you a $10,000 check for a geological survey?
Now, did I say that? Well, that must have been a slip of the tongue.
Dan?
You call me out?
Yeah, that little guy who just left, you can still catch him. I want you to follow him. Find out where he goes and who he sees.
Something wrong?
I don't know. Maybe that kid who came in here yesterday is not as dumb as he looks.
Impossible, Mrs. McMillan. Saturday is out.
Oh, you're just being stubborn.
And you, Mrs. McMillan, are being impossible. I have a golf game with the bishop at 10 o'clock.
Oh, twaddle.
A wedding at 4. And I have 2 baptisms. And I have to prepare a Sunday sermon. And in that regard, may I say, you have proved to be a singular inspiration.
Perhaps you could just squeeze us in the morning early before your golf match.
Oh, my dear child. The sacrament of marriage is a feast. You want me to be a short-order cook?
Otis Coffey, you married my son, you married me, you married my husband's parents before that.
That was my father.
Well, we did not travel halfway around the world to be treated like itinerants from Oakland.
Well, perhaps Sunday, late in the afternoon.
Reverend, we have to leave for Hawaii late Saturday night.
Yes, Randy was quite specific about that. Something about business, I believe. Stuart, this is terrible.
What happened?
Reverend Coffey. He refuses to marry the children on Saturday. Some silly excuse about another wedding. Now, Stuart, I want you to tell this old fool that he's behaving just like...
An old fool.
You see, he admits it.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, but at such short notice, it just isn't possible.
Well, look, Meg, why doesn't Randy fly to Hawaii, do what he has to do, and come back here and have your wedding next Saturday?
I'm flying to Hawaii with Randy on Saturday night, married or otherwise.
I just won't hear of it.
Oh, Mother, stop being an old prune. Randy and I are both adults. There's nothing wrong with a physical relationship, with or without benefit of all this. Right, Mac?
What?
I wasn't born yesterday, children. In fact,
What?
never mind that. The important thing is that every McMillan but 3 since 1849 has been married in San Francisco. And the 3 that didn't, well, one was hanged as a horse thief, another sailed on the maiden voyage of the Titanic, and the last one ended up living in New York City. And I don't intend to see anything like that happen to my daughter.
Be careful, Reverend. When my mother sets her jaw like that, she's going to get her way, one way or another.
Well, maybe I can squeeze them in on Saturday at 2 o'clock, if I can get the bishop to play fast. But he has a tendency to pray a lot over his 8-foot putts.
2 o'clock it is. Now run along, children, before this aging Arnold Palmer changes his mind. Shoo, shoo.
Oh, if it were anybody but you, Beatrice McMillan.
Old as coffee, you're a pussycat.
Oh,
Sorry to run off like this, but we were supposed to meet the hotel people 10 minutes ago.
Oh, my, in that case, I'd better drive.
Now, Mother, remember the speed limit.
Copper. The kid's land is loaded with copper.
Sure looks like he fell into something and doesn't even know it.
Oh, he knows about it, all right. Don't worry about that. That guy Teasdale is one of the country's top geologists. Golf course, huh? Some golf course. He wants $500,000 from me at a lousy 10%. He's sitting on 12 to 15 million bucks. Well, I'm going to have another little talk with Mr. Newmark about his golf course.
Wouldn't that be something? I mean, if we were to end up owning a real mine, we might even become legitimate.
Hey, you want to get your finger broken? That's for supper. Put it back.
Mildred, I won't be here for supper.
Oh, you're hungry? I'll make you a sandwich. Sit down.
No. That's all right.
No, if you get malnutrition, the commissioner will blame me. Let me see. Some bread. Right. No bread.
Well, that's okay, Mildred. Forget the bread. Well, maybe a little soup, a little salad.
No, a little patience. Wait a minute. No, where's the bread? Where would she...
Hey, Mildred, that's the dishwasher?
Yeah, I know that, and you know that, but would the commissioner's mother know that? Okay, lady, where'd you put it? Come on. Just a sec. Okay, you're the detective. What goes with bread? Bread and butter? Okay, butter, but no bread.
Mildred, I'll just have a couple of cookies.
Bread and water. She wouldn't put it in the bathtub, would she? Oh, well, of course. How could I be so stupid?
What is it?
Well, we went to the store this morning. She insisted on buying oven-baked bread. I'm awfully glad she didn't want any head cheese.
No, Mother, I am not going to wear a swallowtail coat, especially when nobody but the family's going to be there.
You are not going to give away your sister looking like a bum.
A brand new, stylish, dark blue suit does not make me look like a bum.
Commissioner?
Oh,
excuse me.
This is my mother, Mrs. McMillan, Mrs. Sergeant Enright.
How awfully nice to meet
My
you.
pleasure. How's Mrs. McMillan, sir?
Oh, she's fine. She's upstairs resting. Now, Sergeant, I want your honest opinion about something. Now, never mind that I am the commissioner and you are just a sergeant with 7 years left to go until your pension.
I'm glad you're not loading the questions, sir.
Right. Now, which do you think would be more appropriate for a wedding in the afternoon with just the family? A nice, neatly pressed, dark suit, or a moth-eaten, rented set of tails with a too heavily starched collar that probably doesn't fit?
Well, sir, I've always believed that special occasions require special attention, especially weddings and funerals. They're both so final.
You see?
I'll see you in my office first thing in the morning.
Well, sir, if you need something to wear, my cousin Bernie runs a rental shop on Fremont Street. And, there is just one more thing, sir. About you-know-who?
Who?
About the gentleman you asked me to check out this morning. Well, if we could talk in private.
Yes, let's talk privately.
Stuart,
Yes, Mother.
you didn't.
Didn't what?
He did, didn't he?
No, ma'am, I did.
Stuart, you are incorrigible. Your own brother-in-law.
He's not my brother-in-law yet. Go ahead, Sergeant.
Well, sir, I don't know how you found out, but nobody named Randall Newmark III ever lived in Rochester or went to Choate School or any of those things.
Thank you. Very good. Nevertheless, I'll see you in my office first thing in the morning.
Yes, sir. Good night, Mrs. McMillan.
Good night.
Good night. Now, Mother, before you say one word, let's understand one thing. Meg is my little sister, and I feel a certain responsibility toward her. Now, cop or no cop, it's my duty to find out everything I can about the man she's going to marry. Now, I'm sorry if you don't agree, but that's just the way it is.
Absolutely.
The fact is, she's just a kid. What did you say?
You're absolutely right. If Sergeant Enright is correct, Randy has been lying to us. I want to know as much as you do.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, there may be a perfectly valid explanation. And if there is, you will go downtown with that sergeant and pick out a set of tails tomorrow for Saturday. Agreed?
Agreed. You're a hard woman, Beatrice McMillan.
And you are a dear.
Prowling around down here, I thought maybe you could use this.
Thank you, Mildred. That's very thoughtful.
You know, Commissioner, it's none of my business, but your sister's a big girl now. I don't think she'd mind if you'd go off to bed.
That's not why I'm waiting up.
Oh, my mistake.
Is something bothering you?
Well, yes, now that you mention it, there is. I'm having some trouble with,
My mother?
Yeah. I know she's a fantastic lady, but she's making a shambles of my house. My coffee pot is missing. She puts empty cereal boxes back in the cupboard.
Oh, Mildred, she's used to living in hotels. She just wants to feel needed.
Needed. You know what she made for lunch? Oysters Rockefeller. If I was a Rockefeller, I'd sue for defamation of character. I'm still trying to pick little pieces of shells out of the garbage disposal.
She means well.
That's what they said about Marie Antoinette. I tell you, she's driving me crazy. If she doesn't leave Sunday the way she promised, I'm just going to have to go to my sister's house and wait until she does.
What on earth's going on?
Oh, nothing, Mother. Just a minor revolt.
Sunday, Commissioner.
What Sunday?
Bastille Day.
You're so sweet, but sometimes I have trouble understanding her.
Mother,
Oh,
please do me a favor. Call her Mildred.
oh. Doesn't she like her name?
Daddy, will you knock it off? I've got to get some sleep.
Well, it was just a suggestion.
Proposition.
So I'm excessively libidinous.
You're a dirty old man.
I certainly am.
Mother, Matt, what are you doing up?
Spencer Tracy and the father of the bride.
Good evening, sir. I mean, Mac. I mean, sir.
Mac, you're not serious. You mean you really waited up for me? That's terrific.
Actually, I want to talk to Randy.
Rent? Oh, sure. Little man-to-man chat. If the dower's over $100, take it.
Meg.
Come on, Mother, let's go to bed. Leave these two to their men.
Meg, your fiancé's a fraud. I'm sorry. Did a little checking of your background. There is no Randall Newmark III. Never was. Now, I don't know what kind of a phony line you're handing my sister or who you really are.
So that's it.
Megan.
Who do you think you are, Stuart McMillan? Snooping around behind Randy's back.
He's called the Heat, darling, or something like that.
Don't you think I know all about Randy?
You know?
Of course I do.
Meg, knock it off. It's all right. Mac was only doing his job. You're right. My name isn't Newmark. It's Murphy. Randall Francis Murphy. If you can believe that.
Murphy. Dear, that's Irish, isn't it?
I was born in Brooklyn, not Rochester. And I didn't go to Choate. I was raised by the Sisters of Charity until I got up enough nerve to run away, join the Navy. After 4 years of getting kicked in the butt, forgive me, by petty officers, I decided there was only one thing for me to do, and that was to get out, get an education. Learn some manners, get to work. Megan knows all this. The reason why I didn't tell Mrs. McMillan was, I guess I was ashamed of who I was, where I came from.
No one holds that against you.
They certainly don't. I say people are as people do. And you do just fine. Stuart, apologize.
No, Mrs. McMillan, please.
No, Mother's right. I just stuck my nose in where I shouldn't have. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Now that's settled. I'm going to bed.
Me too.
Stuart?
In a moment, Mother.
Now, don't be too late. Remember, you have to make an appointment tomorrow with Sergeant Enright's cousin.
Did I tell you about this wonderful cotton dress that I got for the plane?
No.
It's beautiful, and it's only $95 a steal.
$95? Who's doing the stealing?
One for the road.
Hey, you know, speaking of Sergeant Enright, I'm new here. I don't really know anybody, and I'm going to need a best man. You don't suppose that he'd consent to do it, do you?
It's possible. I'll talk to him. First thing in the morning. Brandy, okay?
Yeah, fine.
Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
No hard feelings?
In your shoes, I'd have done exactly the same thing.
Well, it's an occupational hazard. I've been hit with quite a bit the last couple of days. When you two get settled over in Hawaii, why, Sally and I'll take a couple of weeks off and come on over. We'll get better acquainted.
Good, I'd like that. Listen, it really is late. I'd better be going.
You take care of that little girl. She's the only kid sister I have.
You have my word. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Good night.
Well.
So?
The rats are sniffing at the cheddar. Nose is twitching. Beady little eyes glistening with greed.
Should have been a poet, Harry.
There's no money in that, my boy.
So what happened?
One of Mr. Kovacs' associates broke into my motel room at exactly 5:51 p.m.
The phony report. Did he find it?
He did. It was back in place, but the thread that I'd put on top of it was gone.
Terrific.
Now, we can expect to hear from Mr. Kovacs by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Count on it.
Harry, you're beautiful.
The only thing that worries me is taking those Tamco bonds instead of cash.
Look, there's nothing to worry about. You understand? I mean, Kovacs are pigeon, but he can't lay his hands on the cash. The bonds are negotiable. The way Tamco's going, we won't have any trouble unloading him.
Maybe so. We'll dump him and get out quick. How's the little lady? You still going through with the wedding Saturday?
Yeah, why not? I'm in love, aren't I?
Oh, sure you are. But what has one got to do with the other?
Nothing, Harry. Nothing.
Randall Francis Murphy, born in Brooklyn, New York, April 14th, 1945.
What about his fingerprints?
Well, they check out with the Navy Department and with the FBI.
Any criminal activity?
No, sir, not even a traffic violation. And that should put your mind at ease, sir.
Well, every now and then it's good to be wrong.
I think he's a wonderful person.
Yes?
Lieutenant Callahan to see you, sir.
Good. Send him in. How would you like to be best man to that wonderful person tomorrow?
Me, sir? Well, I'm a little scared at weddings, but, okay, sure, as long as I'm not the person getting married.
Morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
Charlie?
Hi.
Got a lead on the death of that counterfeiter, Pablo Javier. Here, take a look. Building's owned by Trans-Alaska Mining Corporation, TAMCO. Maybe you've heard of it?
Aren't they the ones that reopen old abandoned gold mines?
Well, that's what they say, but there's something a little cockeyed about that whole operation. That's why the captain had a camera crew working the building the past couple of weeks.
Well, what's a character like Pablo
Javier
got to do with TAMCO?
That's what we'd like to know. It's pretty touchy business, Commissioner, because there's a lot of foreign money coming into this corporation.
Foreign money, like Japanese money?
Yes, sir. They're into just about everything. They've got a lot of money to invest these days.
And if it is a swindle, Commissioner,
There could be serious international repercussions, but with a known counterfeiter doing business with TAMCO, it's a definite possibility. Now, that Japanese national.
Mirabushi, sir?
Yeah, Mirabushi. I want to know more about him. The Japanese government put a lot of heat on when he died. I want to know why.
you think there's a connection between Marabushi and Tamco, sir?
There's a hell of a connection between Mirabushi and Javier. They were both killed by the same gun. Things are starting to shape up. Oh, I also want to see some footage on that surveillance film.
Well, we can set that up, sir.
Meanwhile, I want to see that Tamco file, what you've got on it and who's behind it.
Right away, sir.
Whoever killed Javier and Mirabushi must have had a good reason, but one thing's certain, they're not to be fooled with.
Nice of you to come back, Mr. Newmark. I'm sorry it was such short notice.
Oh, it's my pleasure, sir. I just appreciate the chance to get to talk to you again.
Well, I've discussed the entire matter with my associate, Mr. Hagstrom, and, well, I may have been a bit hasty.
I like your plan, Newmark. Logical, yet imaginative. Can't expect people to work 24 hours a day.
No, sir.
Your country club may be just what we need, morale-wise.
Right. I think we may be able to work something out, providing the terms are mutually agreeable.
Well, now, Mr. Kovacs, I hate to press you, and I certainly wouldn't if I didn't have to, but I think I told you I have this note due the middle of next week, $500,000.
Oh, I didn't realize it was due that quickly.
Oh, yes, sir.
Who holds the note?
Cascade Mortgage Investment Company over on West Larrabee. They're awfully nice people, but you know, business is business. And, well, gosh, if I don't make good on that note, I'm going to lose everything.
Well, Dan, I think we can talk to Mr. Ridgely first thing Monday.
Oh, sure. I suppose we could do that.
I'll be in touch.
Thank you. But,
no later than Monday. Now, you just sit tight.
Mr. Kovacs, you're a lifesaver. The terms, sir, that I mentioned to you, the $500,000 for 10% interest, that's okay, isn't it?
Perfect. Just leave Mr. Ridgely to us.
Well, thank you again. And it's nice to meet you, Mr. Hagstrom. Have a nice day.
Now, what was all that about? You had him and you let him go.
Trouble with you, Dan, is you don't think. Now, he's got a note that's due. He can't meet the deadline. We take over the note, he's out in the cold. We're sitting on a copper mine worth $10, $15 million.
That's great. But where do we get the $500,000 to buy the note?
Right out of the vault.
The phony bonds?
They're as negotiable as cash.
Well, that's crazy. Mr. Ridgely says we don't dump that stuff until the end of the month.
The hell with Ridgely. Now, this whole thing's going to blow up any minute. Who's going to wind up with the dough? Not you and me, Danny boy.
I don't know, Al.
Who's been taking all the risks? Us. Killing Javier. And that Japanese detective that was snooping around last winter.
We weren't sure he was a detective.
Well, he was looking for something. Now, why do you think I have my boat ready? Because I like deep-sea fishing? Look, if we work this right, Mr. Ridgely will know nothing about those bonds being missing. Now, you call Cascade Mortgage Company, find out who runs the outfit, get them on the phone. We don't have any time.
I sure hope you know what you're doing, Al.
Okay, the guy getting out of the limo, that's Burton Ridgely, retired Army general. Connected in all the right places. It's all his game. He owns a majority of the stock. Number 2 man, Executive Vice President Alan Kovacs. Sort of a high-paid flunky. Mostly an inside man.
Do you have a sheet on him?
Oh, sir, they're all clean as far as we can tell. Mostly ex-Army people. Now, that's Daniel Hackstrom. Both he and Kovacs served in Ridgely's unit in Berlin a few years back. This guy, Harry Anders, he's strictly small time, but he's something else. He could rob the fillings out of your teeth while you're chewing on a steak.
Well, what's he got to do with Tamco?
Beats me. He was only filmed twice. It's for sure he's not working with those guys.
Hold it.
What is it, sir? Back it up. Freeze it.